There was a headline yesterday. Colby saw it in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He said, I saw the SEC is considering moving to 9 conference games. Are they finally going to do the right thing and move to 9 like everyone else? Now, here's what he's talking about. Seth Emerson and Andrew Marchand over on The Athletic, they reported that ESPN is ready to fork over an extra $50 to $80 million a year to the SEC if they add a 9th conference game on their schedules. Not 50 to 80 million per team, 50 to 80 million for the conference to distribute amongst their member institutions. That's not a surprise, I guess. The SEC has flirted with this idea for a while, but I did notice the question there said, are they going to do the right thing and go to 9 league games? My question is, what makes that the right thing? Is it because you want them to go to 9? Is that what makes it right? That's fair. I'd love for them to go to 9 too. I've held that stance for a long time, but then the counter to that has always been, I've said if I were them, I wouldn't go to 9. Why not, Josh? You don't want to watch more great games? Of course I do. What, you think the SEC is scared of competition? Not necessarily that, as much as I think the SEC is scared that the increased level of competition would be held against them because this sport has not figured out how to properly define strength of schedule. It's been a theme on this show for several years, and anytime anyone has talked about this, should the SEC expand to 9 conference games, I have maintained, yeah, they should. They want to, but you got to convince them they're not going to be punished for it. What does that mean? Well, it means something like this. So, for example, we do our own strength of schedule metric around here. You can do yours. Connolly does one. Everyone does one. They end up basically looking the same. Right now, we have 10 of the top 11 toughest schedules in the country being SEC schedules this year. Doesn't mean the league's going to be any good, or it could be the most elite conference we've ever seen. Doesn't prove anything other than we think SEC teams are going to have a pretty tough schedule this year. So that's okay. That's not the worst thing in the world, as long as at the end of the road, there's an understanding when you're fielding the playoff or when you're ranking teams, period, that has to properly be taken into the equation. But it's not in college football. Far too often, it's not. As much as people claim they're willing to in August, come December, that same person is screaming, you are what your record says you are, at the top of their lungs. It's a lie in college football. You're not always what your record says you are. Hey, quick timeout. Check and see if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're not, I humbly ask that you click subscribe. It's free. It doesn't sign you up for anything. What it does is it helps us keep this show free so we can just do college football year-round. All right, back to the clip. NFL, that's the way they do it on Sundays. Cool. Well, go watch pro football. A lot of people do. Go watch pro football. But just don't take the Sunday logic and try and apply it to Saturday because it doesn't fit on Saturday. So in the SEC, it's as simple as this. They've been talking about this. They've been meeting about this. If you convince them that strength of schedule is going to be properly interpreted and applied, they're going to go to 9 league games. They want to. You know what that does for ticket sales? When Georgia knows they've got an extra visit from Ole Miss, or Florida knows they've got an extra visit from Texas on the schedule, it does wonders for season ticket value and sales. It does wonders for television ratings, which generate more money for the league. It does wonders. They all want it. Believe it or not, this will come as a mild shock to some of you, a lot of the coaches want it. You know why? A lot of them love the competition. A lot of them love it. What they don't love is the competition, but then you get punished for it. Because on a Saturday, if I play Texas and lose to them 23-20, but then my friend over here plays UTSA and beats them 23-20, he's 1-0 and I'm 0-1, and a pollster looks at us and says, well, he's got to be better than you. He won today. You lost. Yeah, but I played Texas and barely lost to them. And once we extrapolate that over the course of an entire season, you see it happen every December. I'm not explaining something to you don't already get, but you're never getting the SEC to move off of this if you don't convince them to their satisfaction that they won't be punished for it. It's as long and as short as that, immunity. And I agree with them. I want to see him go to 9, but I've agreed with them. If I were them, I would not have gone to 9 yet, is what I'm trying to say. But I would want to go to 9, and I do want them to go to 9, but I think the system has to be calibrated properly to incentivize them to do so.